Let's jump right into it. I'm Chad Morris, aka Simo, and today I got this before here of my natural cedar root sculpture. Usually I'd soak it in some cleaner overnight, but since it wasn't too bad and I was eager to work on it, I just did my best to brush most of the dirt and debris off. Then I got right to work with my trusty flat discs, using a nice coarse 80 grit to get rid of most of the rough stuff. I spent a good hour or two on that, switching to smaller and finer grit discs, being sure to get as much as I could to avoid having to sand very much by hand. I eventually got down to the Dremel with an even smaller flap disc, getting into the tighter spaces I couldn't reach before. Next was the Dremel Max Life buffing wheel for extra fine sanding / polishing. Despite my best efforts to avoid much manual sanding, I still had to spend another hour or two going over the whole thing to satisfy the inner perfectionist in me, especially since I was really trying to showcase the wood grain in this piece. I needed to cut the bottom of it nice and flat so that I could sit it on the base just right, and I just tried my best to hold it in the right position and mark it where it was level. Then I got a nice smooth cross-section cut and proceeded to check my work.
Just getting it to sit straight up like that.
A little balance with nature and gravity. So satisfying indeed. I attempted to clean off all the sawdust, but it was just so embedded that I had to rinse it off with my sink in warm water. After letting it dry overnight, I got right into my first round of sealing it, and though I genuinely love this smart biohemp wood protectant product, it apparently doesn't mix well with the gloss finish I used, as you'll see, and I had to start all over again, unfortunately. But I did 2 coats, and though it did look kinda cool still, I have to admit I forgot the way that it tints the wood so drastically and made it so dark in so many places. Here's where I went wrong using this triple thick gloss, mainly because I didn't have anything else to use and didn't want to have to buy anything, but figured it should come out looking pretty cool anyways. But despite using the gloss so many times successfully before, I think the waterproofing nature of that biohemp sealant caused it to simply not fully cure properly and became this awful sticky mess. So despite that 8 hours of work getting there, I had to suck it up and start all over pretty much. I used some acetone and gradually wiped away as much as I could, which as long as you use a decent amount soaked into the rag, it does come right off fairly easily. And then I just got right back into sanding all through the night, occasionally vibing out to the music, just trying not to go insane. Anyways, once I got it sanded again, I moved on to the marble base, which I needed to drill a hole in, so I used my diamond tip bits and water to make sure it doesn't overheat. I realized I would need to drill a larger hole from the backside so that the screw head would be able to fit and stop about halfway through to secure the cedar. So I needed to somehow get it centered and place a mark on the cedar, so I knew where to drill at, but the hole was too small to fit a pencil, so I came up with an idea to put a little paint inside the blow straw here, and luckily it worked just fine. Now it was just a matter of screwing it together, and I decided since I needed to seal the cedar, I would screw it together with a paper towel covering the marble so I could skip the step of having to cover it. And I know I could just seal it without the base and cedar connected like I did the first time with the gloss, but I figured it would be much better with it standing upright. Seems like it was just meant to be that my first attempt to seal it went wrong, because I just love how much better it looks this way with the water-based sealant. It really made that natural grain stand out as well, as you'll see. I did 3 coats total and sanded in between for an extra polished finish. The next day it was time to remove the paper towel and finally get to see how it turned out, and I gotta say I truly love it. Hopefully you do too. And I'll definitely be doing a ton more in this natural style, so watch out. It's definitely one of the most inviting pieces I've done, and I even took it to my work, which for those who don't know, I bartend at night, and I put it on the bar and got a ton of compliments, and thankfully even sold it right away. I normally don't like to say my prices, mainly because my pieces take tremendous amounts of time, so are fairly high understandably, but considering this one wasn't nearly as bad as some of the others, I sold it for $500 and plan to do more like it, so feel free to reach out if interested. I can accept multiple payments as well. And also check my website, seamodesigns.com, to see my many other pieces for sale. If you're not already, follow me on your favorite social media, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, or of course here on YouTube. I hope y'all enjoyed another episode of Seamo Designs, and as always, I'm on to the next one. Hope you are too. See you next time.